Hari Om. What is that single most important thing in life we should have to achieve total freedom from bondage or total freedom from suffering in this lifetime itself? The most important thing is to keep this as the first thing in life. We may have so many different things to achieve in our life, A, B, C, D, E, etc. etc. We may want to have a good job, we may want to earn so much money in our life to accumulate wealth, we may want a very good wife and kids, we may want to own a big house, nice environment to live with. So all these things we may wish, but along with all these things, if we also have this inclination or a desire to achieve total freedom in our life, it may not really work so well, because as long as our wish to achieve this kind of total freedom in this lifetime itself is one among so many other desires, then the focus on this particular aspect will be so much reduced, so that in effect one may make only a slight improvement in this lifetime. So if we want to go beyond all kinds of suffering, limitations, desires, wishes, etc. in this lifetime itself, then it is extremely important that we should have this single most important burning desire or a passion to achieve total freedom from all kinds of suffering. So this should be our single most important burning desire or passion in our life. We may also engage in various activities in terms of going for a job, taking care of our family, kids, etc., earning wealth. So these things can happen alongside, but the most important aspect of our life should be to keep our focus on this one thing. What really hides us, what really hides the true vision of our existence. So to remove that veil which hides our true vision should be our single most important focus of our life. So this is the one thing we all should have if we really wish to achieve the eradication of all that which hides the true vision, or which kind of make us not able to be in the presence of Bhagavan all the time. So if we wish to be in the presence of Bhagavan in this lifetime itself, in this very moment, then we should really understand the fact that to remove this veil, whatever hides the true nature, the existence consciousness, Sachit, Aham, the I am, the pure being, which is basically the presence of Bhagavan, should be our single most and the only focus of our life. Our mind should always be on this particular thing. Whatever may be externally we may be doing in terms of job or any other activities. So this is something extremely important for everyone to understand, so that one can have this right idea of how exactly we should set our wishes in our life. This should be the first single most important wish in our life. And then we can have all other things like our taking care of family, earning wealth, good job, enjoying the worldly pleasures, etc. So whatever happens or not, this single most important goal should be the main focus of our mind. We should give our all our energy in terms of our attention to always remain in the presence of Bhagavan. In fact, Bhagavan always said that if we want to have total freedom, then it means that right now we are in bondage. So who exactly is in bondage? So it is basically the rising of the I thought or the ego, which is the root cause of all suffering, all kinds of bondage. So if we want to attain total freedom from bondage or suffering, what it really means is that we should eradicate this I am the body idea, the I thought, the ego, which makes us to falsely identify with this physical body as I am so and so. And then it fills our mind with unwanted worldly thoughts, which hides our true vision or which hides the presence of Bhagavan. It is this I thought which is basically the intangible link between the physical body and the presence of Bhagavan, the pure consciousness. So it kind of superimposes the true nature of our eternal awareness on the physical body. So it makes us believe that this physical body will be eternal. And then it makes us forget our true nature as something unreal. Whereas in truth it is our physical existence which is unreal. So it is the very nature of the I thought to be in a state of anarchy, confusion, not knowing what exactly we are. So if we want to really go beyond all this suffering and bondage, then we need to really eradicate this I thought, which we are as of now. In terms of, to the extent our mind is on the worldly objects, or to the extent we are not in the presence of Bhagavan, then to that extent we are existing as the I thought. So to the extent we remain as I am, to remain in the presence of Bhagavan, then to that extent we are free from bondage or the I thought in those moments or the period of time. So what happens is that with the practice of Mahayoga, one remains as existence consciousness in the presence of Bhagavan by keeping our attention always on the presence of Bhagavan all the time. So we gradually remain free from the I thought for longer periods of time with incessant practice of Maha Yoga, the path shown by our Guru Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi. So with such consistent practice, the I thought remains subsided in its source of the presence of Bhagavan, or the Aham, which is the Atma. Thereby it becomes more and more weaker, and in a way it understands the happiness of being subsided in its source, which is the existence consciousness, the presence of Bhagavan. What actually happens is that the I thought has to experience this happiness of being subsided in the presence of Bhagavan, instead of getting entangled in the Vishayas or the worldly objects. So to the extent we don't let this I thought or our mind to focus on the worldly things, the worldly objects, pleasures, etc. Thereby the I thought, since it cannot remain by itself for longer period of time, it will naturally sink and subside into its source of the presence of Bhagavan, the pure being, the Atma. Thereby, in due course of time, we will understand the happiness of being in the state of subsidence in the presence of Bhagavan. So the more we remain in the presence of Bhagavan, the more we as the I thought will understand that it is actually the supreme state to be in the state of subsidence in the presence of Bhagavan. Thereby it will slowly lose its strength, and in due course of time with the practice of Maha Yoga, it will completely dissolve in the presence of Bhagavan altogether. Thereby what remains thereafter will only be the pure I am, the pure being, which is the presence of Bhagavan. So this is what the single most goal of our life. Even though, even at this moment, what remains is only the presence of Bhagavan all the time. Our existence as the I thought is not something which is there always. It is off and on, off and on. We are actually a bundle of thoughts in essence, and then the rising of the I thought, which owns all other thoughts, and then we engage in worldly activities. We have some attachment, aversions, likes and dislikes, expectations, anxieties, worries, etc. And then we keep on thinking about all these things of the world, and this is how our life goes on. So if we want to remain free from all this entanglement of the worldly objects, the only way and the most straight approach will be to turn our attention within and to remain quiet mentally, keeping one's attention on the source, the I am, the presence of Bhagavan within. Thereby the I thought will gradually lose its strength and will totally dissolve in the presence of Bhagavan altogether with the practice of Maha Yoga. So this is the goal of our life. At the same time, this goal is there already. So what we have to understand and keep our attention on is to be in the presence of Bhagavan. That is the only thing required, which means basically we are in a way turning the focus of ego or I thought from the worldly objects towards the presence of Bhagavan, so that the ego remains subsided in the presence of Bhagavan, thereby gets weakened with the practice of Maha Yoga, and in due course of time naturally the ego will one day completely eradicated with the removal of all the desires and vasanas. Thereby, what remains will be only the presence of Bhagavan. Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala.